average voter thinks that Project 2025 is part of Trump's plan?
Yeah, I mean, the people that he's been putting into positions or that he's, claimed that are in positions are, maybe let's bounce. Yeah, so I think I've said more enough.
I think Jesus Christ will win.
I would rather Biden or Trump.
Come on. Trump, by far.
I saw a guy and he was making a bunch of little Kamala Harris earrings. And so...
I like her song choices.
Me too.
Okay.
And her pick for VP. He's very sweet. And she's very brat.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I'm a childless cat lady, and we're pretty damn powerful.
I don't really like Kamala. I heard she goes for abortions and stuff.
We're not.
I don't know. Yeah.
No exceptions. Let me explain this to you. First of all, being an abolitionist, if a man rapes and there's a baby conceived, all right, kill the dude, right? Raise the baby. It's not the baby's fault.
Abortion rights.
Just abortion rights.
That I am a one-issue voter, so the Democratic Party has always protected reproductive autonomy. I will always vote for the party who protects reproductive autonomy.
Well, that's a good question because Trump should win because more people support him. However, the voting is corrupted. There's algorithms in the machines. There's illegal voting. So I don't know. I don't know who will win. I hope Trump wins.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is Aaron again with American Interviews. Today we are out here in the lovely Nampa, Idaho for the farmers market. Today we're out here to ask the question, since Joe Biden has been replaced by Kamala Harris, who will win the 2024 election? We're going to find out. So, with the recent dropping out of Joe Biden, or some people have said forcing out of Joe Biden, and now Kamala Harris is the new Democratic candidate, who are you going with this election cycle?
We're going Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Yeah.
Trump.
Any specific reasons for Trump?
Well, I mean, you look at the 4 years that he was in, the economy was just better, even if they want to say the economy's worse now, which life was much easier for everybody else.
Yeah, inflation, quality of life has gone down just for all families in every state. So
Well, inflation has gone up, quality of life.
Quality of life has gone down. Yeah, did I say that?
I can't go to the gas station anymore and just buy a simple candy bar anymore. It's too expensive now.
Yeah.
Can't even buy it.
I think Jesus Christ will win.
That's a good answer. Why do you say that?
Because he's over all. And no matter who wins this election, Jesus is over the whole world. He got this taken care of.
So, who's going to shoot me for saying this?
Probably no one.
Because they're trying to kill him.
That's the only shooting that's happening.
My advice to the young people is don't vote for her.
Yeah? Don't vote for her?
Don't vote for her.
Okay. What about voters in places where they think it doesn't matter, like California? Do you think they should still vote red?
They should still vote.
Try to flip the state?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your opinion.
You bet.
Thank you so much.
Trump. Kamala.
And what makes you say that?
She's honest. She's trustworthy. Everything he's not.
You think she's honest? Some people have said that she is pretty dishonest in the fact of her positionings on a lot of things. She has flip-flopped her positions on a lot of things.
She's just now getting her own position. She's been having to deal with Biden's positions.
Whose positions were they before?
Biden's.
You think so? And she just kind of had to toe the line for Biden?
Yeah.
What about before she was VP?
Oh, when she was Attorney General?
Right.
I don't know anything about that. I didn't live in California.
Whoop whoop. So today we're asking the question, Trump versus Kamala, who will win?
Hopefully Trump.
What are your reasonings for wanting Trump to win?
I mean, there's a lot, but let's just keep it short and say when Kamala started promising that she was going to regulate government regulation of food prices, they kind of did that in Venezuela and it didn't turn out so well.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Is that your main reasoning for disliking Kamala, or are there many?
There's a lot, but that's a really big one right now. So
for sure. Yeah. Well, I know you wanted to keep it short, so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know, I would rather Biden or Trump.
Come on.
Trump win, but I really am worried about how that's going to go. And he's so divisive that I think that there would be a better option. And to be honest, I would like to just reset. I think that we need to have a reset button on the government, fire them all, hire all new people, make some big changes in the country because things are just not catching up with technology and how society is changing lately. And I think that we need people who have not been in politics for 20 plus years to work on these things. Maybe some fresh blood.
Trump, by far.
What makes you say that?
Because he did things when he was president no other man had the balls to do.
Such as?
He come in and made things a lot better for people. We had more stuff coming in, more jobs were out there, you know, and he just did what he said he was going to do. Plain and simple.
What do you think? Me too. Can I pet you? Yes. Yeah, it's a good dog, huh? What do you think? Yes.
Trump.
What are your reasonings for that?
Well, if we don't get Trump, our country's in a world of hurt.
Can you think of anything specific that would be harmful to the country if Kamala gets into office?
The border's going to be totally wide open.
Right. People have mentioned that she flip-flopped on her stance on the border.
Many times.
Yeah. Some people have referred to her as the border czar. Many news outlets have referred to her as that, and now it's kind of switched from the border czar to now she's a border hawk. Would you agree with that?
No.
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 6.5 hours later.
I hope Trump's going to win. He's going to make overtime untaxed.
Yeah? What?
He's a rich man.
Yeah? You get tips?
No.
Oh, on overtime.
Yeah, overtime.
No tax on overtime, right?
Yeah. That's what I heard. At least.
Is that the main reason you'd vote for Trump?
Also, he's kind of funny. He's got two very hard pictures this year. You know, the mug shot and the the one with his fist in the air.
Right.
I mean, that alone, like, come on.
It's pretty undeniable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But
Are there any reasons you would vote against Kamala?
I mean, I don't really follow politics too close, but I'm not even sure if I want to vote for Trump. I don't know if I'm going to even vote at all, but
sure.
If I were to vote, it'd be for Trump. Yeah.
You're not going to get out and vote this year?
I don't know. I don't know the whole process. This is the first year I can vote, so.
It's pretty easy. Just sign up and you go to a voting station and cast your vote. Yeah. That's pretty much all there is to it.
I guess, but yeah, I might, but.
Cool, man. Well, it was good talking to you. Thanks for stopping to talk to me, man.
I think after getting shot, people will vote for Trump because they feel bad for him.
You think that's? Do you think that's the main reason or the main thing that would sway independent voters to his side?
Yeah, as far as independence, yes. If you're already supporting Trump, you're already supporting Trump.
Right. Do you think there's an argument for people to want to vote for Kamala, like independents to sway that way, or even Republicans to sway towards Kamala?
I think after choosing Harris's running mate, Tim Walz, I think a lot of independents might like him because he's kind of a down-to-earth, regular guy that I think a lot of people can relate to, less of like a flashy politician.
Right.
So I'm hoping that, sorry, I shouldn't say I'm hoping.
That's okay. You say what you want.
Yeah, I think Tim Walz might help with Harris's case there, and I think she's also not super left, super liberal, which also helps.
You don't think Kamala's super liberal?
In
Some
my,
people have called her the most left-leaning or liberal candidate in years.
I think when I think of someone who's very liberal or left-leaning, I think of someone like Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, and I think that her policy about some financial services and immigration are definitely not as liberal as other politicians. So I think in the spectrum of things, I don't find her to be very liberal.
Trump.
Trump. Why do you say that?
Because he has to.
He has to?
He has to.
Or what's at stake?
What's at stake? My taxes is at stake for sure.
Yeah.
Inflation is at stake for sure. Open borders.
Right.
For sure. Next generation, stuff that's teach in schools is at stake.
Right.
The family itself is at stake. So men's playing in men's sport, women's playing in women's sports the way it should be, that's all in stake. So Trump for sure.
Right. What are your thoughts on Kamala? Just initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts, she had 4 years. So people are like, well, it's time for change. That's what the media says, it's time for change. She's been the change for the past 4 years. She was second in charge, possibly maybe in charge. Who knows? And we are at the point where we are because of her. So if it was a different situation, if she did great, if the economy, inflation, everything was great, all the go, give her a shot. But she had 4 years. If it was a new candidate, people want to have a woman in there, put a woman in there if it was a new slate and she was going to bring the change. But she's been there for 4 years and she didn't make a change. So time to put Trump in, who was the change. And my taxes was the lowest, inflation was the lowest, unemployment was the lowest under all different races, men, women, Hispanic, Indian, everything. So that's a guy we need in office, and people need to put their feelings down about what they hear in the media and a bad tweet or two and look at the reality of it. How's it impacting your day-to-day life? And that's why they should put Trump in.
Kamala.
I agree, probably.
Kamala.
Are you guys old enough to vote?
You will be, right?
Pretty close.
Okay, perfect. Are there any specific reasons you guys like Kamala?
When I was in Mexico once, I saw a guy and he was making a bunch of little Kamala Harris earrings, and so.
I like her song choices.
Me too.
Okay.
And her pick for VP, he's very sweet.
And she's very brat.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
It would be Trump if, in fact, it's a fair election.
Are there specific things that you can point to that would make you bring up the fair election point?
Voting policies. Will it change during the election, like last election? Will it be integrity based on our American constitutional election?
Are there any specific policies of Trump's that you are an advocate for that would make you vote for him?
He's a businessman. He's not a politician. I'm a businessman. He has run in his last presidential term this country as a business. This country should be run as a business, a democratic business, okay? So the fact that he's a businessman, he's becoming slowly a politician, okay? It's creeping in. However, he's still a businessman at heart, and that's what counts.
Are there any positions that Kamala has taken that you would support?
Only the ones that she's going along with to appease the people.
Like the positions she has flipped on recently.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Where Trump is actually turning, okay, based on like abortion, okay? I believe in absolute abolition of abortion, okay? Trump is making concessions to that, and I don't believe in that. We don't kill babies, okay? They're humans. All abortions are absolutely uncalled for and will not be permitted by us conservatives.
Kamala.
I personally think that Kamala is going to win. It feels like she's got a lot of momentum going after the DNC. It seems like a lot of people are pissed and they want action, and it seems like Kamala is the answer. I mean, it's America. We only got two options, and I think people are pretty fed up with Trump personally, and especially young people. I think we're going to see a big influx of young people voting.
Yeah, and you think that they'll sway towards Kamala?
Yeah, no, that's what it seems like. And I mean, it seems like Trump, especially these days, seems to be shooting himself in the foot more often than not. And so,
with anything in particular that you can think of?
I mean, when he was at the National Association of Black Journalists, and he's one of the first things he said within like 5 minutes of the interview was he didn't know that Kamala was black, which was pretty crazy to me.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black woman.
I
She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear,
64 days until the most election of our lives. Let's just get through the next 64 days.
Not exactly pandering to his audience. And then, I mean, the abortion thing, I think that's a big deal for a lot of people. I think a lot of young people too are scared of Project 2025 and the implications of that and what it could mean for, the average working person. And so, yeah, that's kind of...
I think the average voter thinks that Project 2025 is part of Trump's plan.
Yeah, I mean, the people that he's been putting into positions or that he's, claimed that are in positions are, yeah, maybe let's bounce. Yeah, so I think I've said more enough what I should say, but thank you. I appreciate
That's all right. That's all right. Have a good night.
What? What an idiot. Oh, what a loser. Good.
6.5 hours
earlier. What are your favorite policies of Kamala's?
Social Security, Medicare, all the stuff that we worked for most of our lives to get that Mr. Trump's going to take away if he goes into office. And he can say he's not going to, but he's going to. The 2025 plans all got all that already wrote down for him.
Right. He has already said many times that he's not part of Project 2025. That's a Heritage Foundation thing.
He's got 100 people that worked on that all worked for him at one time or another. So yeah, he knows about what's going in the little project.
Kamala. I think Kamala has a good chance, but Trump it's going to be close. That's what it comes down to.
You think it'll be a close race?
I think it's going to be really close, and I don't think that's going to be good because close race means a lot of angry people.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the consensus among like your friends group? Are most of your friends voting for Kamala?
I would say most people I know are voting for Trump. Yeah. Yeah, we live in Meridian, so it's all Trump pretty much. Oh, yeah.
Okay. What are some of the policies Kamala has stated that would make you support her?
Well, the thing with her campaign is she has a lot of hype right now, but I feel like policies specifically, she doesn't have anything great. She does have a lot of stances with unions.
Be a union member, but you better thank unions for that 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Have a lot of stances with unions, and she wants to do the child tax credit, and as well as like the price gouging banning thing. I guess I'd say I would stand with that.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I really like when you go to Trump's website, you just see his 20 policies he's going to focus on. They're right there in front of you.
But Kamala, it's very hard to find official policy. She'll mention things and allude to things, but as of now, I don't have enough to really know what her stances are on everything.
Do you think that there's enough hype around her, saying now that there's a lack of policy there for a lot of people? Do you think that there's enough hype to carry her through to a victory?
I think I've definitely seen discussion online. It feels like people are kind of discrediting or questioning the hype because they feel like there's not a lot of substance behind the hype at this point.
Like a honeymoon phase?
Yeah, so I feel like she's going to have to roll out official policy on, the country, and then I feel like the hype will be back up again.
You think?
Yeah.
Same exact thing. She just the hype's good right now, and if she can keep it up, she'll win. But it's going to be hard to keep up that amount of hype for a long till the election in November. Yeah.
What are some of the things that make you dislike Trump or that would make you not want to vote for him?
We've definitely heard a lot about Project 2025, and I know officially he says he doesn't stand with it, but there's definitely a bunch of former staffers that he has that have ties to it, and so for me, that's kind of where I stay away from him, at least, yeah.
So mainly just Project 2025, it kind of scares you?
Links to, white nationalist movements is not my favorite, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a good chance I vote for Trump, interesting enough. I agree with a lot of his policy. It's more I have a problem with him being the candidate for the Republican Party because I enjoy a lot of his policy. I like the no tax on tips. I like his a lot of his immigration policies. Not necessarily all of it, but he has some good policies that I think will help. But overall, I think having him back as the president will be hard for a lot of people to swallow. And it's just the division that he creates when he's in office and the division that he creates right now is just a lot for the country to take. So I like his policy, but I struggle with him as a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, I appreciate your guys' opinions. Thanks so much for stopping to talk to me. Yeah. You guys want some stickers?
Oh, yeah.
Staying up to date with events around the world can be difficult, where it's impossible to consult one single source for the full story. Narratives that shape public opinion often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. Information is released faster than it can be verified, and reporting often favors clickbait content over high-quality journalism. It's hard to know what information to trust. That's why I've been using Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare the coverage. For every news source, you can see if they have a political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and who owns them. They even have a blind spot feed that highlights news that is being disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum or the other. Get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. See who is funding each publication, compare coverage, and think critically about the information you consume. Verify your information and know where your news is coming from. Personally, I've been using Ground News for their bias tool. I love to compare and contrast headlines and see what kind of diction they're using from one side to the other, and usually you can find a pretty implicit bias in just the words that they're using. I also use the bias tool to help me formulate video ideas and approach the public in a more neutral way. So head on over to check.ground.news/americaninterviews or subscribe through the link in the description to get 15% off any subscription. I personally use the Vantage plan to get unlimited access to every feature. Your subscription not only helps American Interviews grow, but it also supports Ground News as they make the media landscape more transparent. Now let's get back to some interviews. Are there any particular things about Trump that you like or that you would vote for him for that particular reason?
Not one thing.
Not one thing?
No, sir.
Would you tell us who you're voting for?
I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
Cool. It was lovely to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Well, that's a good question because Trump should win because more people support him. However, the voting is corrupted. There's algorithms in the machines. There's illegal voting. So I don't know. I don't know who will win. I hope Trump wins.
Are there any specific policies of Trump's that you support why you would vote for him?
Well, the border, first of all. That's the most important thing. The child trafficking, drug trafficking, imports, tariffs, the economy, the things he did for the black community, the colleges. He had this opportunity zone that he put in cities to support black businesses. More things than that.
Right. Some people have said about Trump that he's absolutely not for the black voter. In fact, that they've called him racist many times. Do you think that this is almost slander, or do you think that there's no substance to these claims?
Yeah, I'd like to know why they say that, because there's no substance. There's people who know him personally from interviews, and black people that he's met. He's helped out families and given people jobs. He's given individuals job loans and not had them pay back. Black individuals, plus the other things that I mentioned about the opportunity zones. He's not racist. It's just the media trying to portray him as such.
6.5 hours
earlier. Are there any specific reasons that you dislike Kamala Harris?
Well,
do you dislike her? We should start with that.
Well, she wasn't really voted into the Democratic Party. She just kind of took the reins. So I don't know if it was planned or not, because a lot of people were talking about, they were thinking this was going to happen 6 months ago. Right. And I think it's one of those where they should have had a vote to actually see who should be the nominee for their party.
Yeah, Obama was pushing for a vote from the delegates, but that never ended up panning out.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean,
I don't think she knows what she's talking about. Like, if you watch videos like where she's talking, if they'll ask like, "Oh, have you been to the border?"
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that
She hasn't. She'll say she has, and then she goes back and changes it. Like she's not consistent at all. Like she's not
like that too. She'll said like, "Oh, well, let's not do this," and then later in her speech is like, "We gotta do this."
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? Merry Christmas, everybody.
Come on, folks.
But also, like, if the last, like, oh, what are you gonna do to help fix like inflation? Or she never really has an answer to any questions. So I don't know.
Right. A lot of the time, it turns into a rant about how bad Trump is or something. Never really any substance. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, plus everything that she's come out with, what her plan is, it's basically taking from other people, like with Trump and everything. Right. Yeah, wow, she came out with like no tax on tips and everything. Right. She's proven otherwise, because they had the vote came down to her. What was it? Like 2 years ago or something, and it was, should this happen? And she was the final decision because it was tied, and she decided, yeah, we're going to tax tips. But now she's going the opposite way, and it's because it was popular when Trump announced it that he was going to do that. So
100% Trump. Hopefully Trump, yes.
Trump.
And what's your reasoning for that?
He's just better. I don't know. I don't really like Kamala. I heard she goes for like abortions. She goes for like abortions and stuff.
We're not.
I don't know. Yeah.
You're not in favor of abortions?
Definitely not. Of course not.
That should be allowed.
Is there anything that Kamala has said that you would agree with?
I genuinely have no clue.
Nothing. I just think she's against everything that like we want to do, I guess, if that makes sense.
So Trump, and we just like Trump.
We like God, and Trump likes God, so.
That's, yeah, God's pretty cool.
Jesus Christ! So put on, put armor guard.
So, what's your position on Trump's kind of, people have said he's flip-flopped on his position on abortion. He's now said that he's in favor of IVF, and he has now said he's on record of elongating the lifespan of the abortion to 12 weeks from 6 weeks in Florida. He said he's for that bill passing. Just recently. What do you think about those flip-flopped positions?
I don't know. It's very different. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just not for abortion.
Does that change your opinion on him at all?
Still no.
I don't know. I didn't actually see it. I didn't hear any of that. But since you said that, then I don't know. Definitely still not fully for Kamala, but Trump for sure.
Yeah, you think Trump would just be better off overall for the country?
For sure. I think so.
100%.
A lot's changed over the 4 years with Biden, so I feel like Trump could maybe fix that.
We want him back, yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your guys' opinions. Thanks for stopping to talk to me. Yeah. Yeah, have a good night.
Kamala.
What makes you say Kamala?
I'm a childless cat lady, and we're pretty damn powerful.
I sense some sarcasm in there.
No.
No?
Incorrect. I am
Incorrect.
a childless cat lady, and there's many of us out there,
Okay.
and abortion rights matter. Kamala.
Okay. Those are all strong points, I would say. Are there any specific policies of Kamala that would make you vote for her?
Abortion rights.
Just abortion rights.
I am a one-issue voter, so the Democratic Party has always protected reproductive autonomy. I will always vote for the party who protects reproductive autonomy.
You don't think that the states' rights was the right call?
I know it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
It risks lives.
Whose lives?
People who are pregnant who need abortions for medical reasons, people who are pregnant who don't want to be pregnant, and who will suffer mental health consequences because of it.
Some people would say that abortion risks or is not really a risk, it's a definite ending of a baby's life. What would you say to those people?
I would say that conception has been defined medically for many, 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 many years, and life does not start at conception.
Unique DNA starts at conception, though, correct?
Sure, but I also believe that a full person's life is much more valuable than a potential life inside of a person's body.
Yeah, that's fair. So just the one issue. There's nothing else that really would sway you one way or the other on any voting stance?
There are other issues, anti-racism, border stuff, economy.
What about the border specifically?
I believe that people should be treated like human beings no matter what they're seeking refuge from.
Yeah.
And the Republican Party has shown time and time again that they aren't interested in treating people from parts of the world that are trying to seek refuge here like people.
Yeah. Some people would say on the Republican side, many arguments I've heard is that they want immigrants to come here, but they just want them to come legally. Do you want the same thing?
I mean, it doesn't matter what I want. Kamala has a very clear policy stance that she also wants.
What's her stance?
She wants a legal, organized way for people to come seek citizenship legally.
So
she's been very clear about that.
Yeah, and you would say, well, it's now she's been clear. In the past, there were some conflicting things, and I do understand that people change their stances. Yeah. So yeah, that's understandable. People are saying yes, at both sides now are saying that the people want to come in legally. We want everyone to come in legally with their paperwork and stuff. But what would you say about all the people who are seeking asylum from inside the United States? Do you think that should still be allowed? Do you think that they should have to wait in the line, like in their respective countries, wherever they're applying from?
I think it depends on their circumstance. I think people who are seeking refuge from dire economic circumstances, violence in their countries, I think there needs to be a process in which we consider those circumstances for people versus people who might not be seeking asylum, who are seeking to come here for different reasons, economic reasons, but maybe not as dire economic reasons as other people.
Right. You keep mentioning dire economic reasons. Do you think that those circumstances should be tied into the asylum laws? Since they're not right now, you can't seek asylum for economic reasons. Right. Do you think that should be tied into the asylum laws, allowing people to seek economic refuge?
I don't know. Unsure.
No strong stance on that?
I haven't thought enough about it to develop a strong stance.
That's fair. Well, I appreciate your opinions tonight. Thank you for the lively back and forth and entertaining my devil's advocate. I appreciate that. Yeah. Have a good night. Trump has also said that he is for the exceptions, which would be incest, murder.
No exceptions. Let me explain this to you. First of all, being an abolitionist, if a man rapes and there's a baby conceived, all right, kill the dude, right? Raise the baby. It's not the baby's fault, okay? So kill the dude, raise the baby. The baby has no choice in the matter.
Trump has also shifted his position in Florida. Before, I believe he supported the 6-week rule that they were proposing in Florida, and now they're putting a bill through that would say extend it to 12 weeks, and he says he would be supporting that bill. What are your thoughts on that?
It's conception. A human is a human. It's a United States citizen, okay? A baby is a baby. A human is a human. There's no exceptions, period.
And she's very brat.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
I like her ideas. They're good.
Me too.
Any specific ideas?
Her right to bodily autonomy.
Okay.
And let's just say taxing.
Now, when we talk about bodily autonomy, what are you referencing? Just sorry to cut you off.
Just in general.
Birth control.
I'm so
birth control, abortion, stuff like that.
Okay. And you don't think that the states' rights is the correct call?
I would say that. I think it's the person who owns the body's call. Yeah,
Right.
Our physical being and well-being and mental and physical being comes before a lot of other things, in my opinion.
Just to play devil's advocate, some people would say that the baby's body is a different body. What would you say to those people?
Yeah, but I feel like it's like if it wasn't their choice, like let's say somebody was like, not to bring the mood down, but like or something like that, and you're saying like, oh, you have to do that, even if you're it's kind of like, well, you don't have to do that. Other situations that kind of exceed that norm of like, oh, well, what happens, it's your body. But I think that before we focus on that, we should be focused on more important things like gun control in school.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Is there anything that Kamala Harris has said that you disagree with?
Yeah, yes, but only because she's a puppet. She's a Democratic puppet. She will say anything that anybody wants to hear to get that and gain that position. That's all.
Some people have said that she was sidelined the past 4 years in the Biden administration and that she truly will be able to make some change in the country. People who disagree with that have said that she is in charge right now. She's been there for 4 years, whereas the change been the past 4 years. Where do you land on that issue?
There has been a lot of changes, but she's not the change, okay? It's the people behind, okay? It doesn't matter if it's Joe or if it's Kamala or if it's anybody in the liberal side. It's all been a puppet administration. I mean, it's obvious. Joe Biden has not been out of his mind. Joe Biden has never been anything different than Joe Biden has done. The guy has never worked a day in his life, okay? He's never earned a living, never owned a company, never been the people. Kamala is the same thing. It's no different. All they are is the puppet and the spokesman for the Democratic Party.
There was another question I had about Kamala's flip-flopping. She said that day one in an interview that she would be banning fracking, and now she has backpedaled that stance and now said that she's okay with fracking, but her stance hasn't changed on the Green New Deal.
Yeah, she said she didn't actually change her stance on that. That's what she always believed, even though the problem is there's video evidence of all this stuff over and over again saying, hey, this is what I believe. And I never believe the other thing, but I mean, you can watch videos of her saying the opposite. I mean, everybody, like in politics, no matter what side, there's always going to be a little bit of there's always going to be a little bit of flip-flopping. Yeah. But
a race to the middle, they say, during the primaries.
Yeah, it kind of seems more like.
I don't give my opinion during interviews just because I try to stay unbiased in my interviews. So.
But it does kind of seem like it's whatever will get her the votes. She doesn't actually have an opinion. It kind of seems more along the lines of being bought out. And, if she can say to do a certain thing or whatever it may be to get more votes or more people to donate to her, she's going to say that. Doesn't matter if she actually believes it or not.
Right. I think that could ring true for both sides a little bit. And to stay fair, Trump has also backpedaled a little bit on the abortion stance. He was pretty staunchly pro-life there for a while. A lot of pro-life advocates were supporting him, and now he's kind of backpedaled on that. Now is supporting IVF and has also supported the bill in Florida that will extend the limit for abortions. Do you have any stance on that?
12 weeks or something like that he's now?
I'm not sure what the limit is. Yeah, I think it was 6 weeks, and now they're trying to put it to 12 or something, yeah.
No, but like I said before, there's always going to be flip-flopping no matter what in politics, because there's always going to be the whole, I gotta win. And so I think doesn't matter. You're always going to have that in politics, and I don't like that Trump does that. But, I still think for the most part there's more good than bad when it comes to Trump. And with Kamala, it's going to, who knows what you're voting for. And in all honesty, people didn't vote for her. So, and that's kind of where we're at.
I really believe that it belongs in the states. The states need to decide what they want. I don't think it belongs in the federal government. So I'm surprised to hear that, he's kind of swaying on it a little bit, but I can understand why. He wants the votes.
Right. I appreciate your opinion so much. Thank you so much for stopping to talk to me. And any last words from you? Beautiful. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Oh, a hug? Okay.
Yes, he's a hugger.
6.5.
Many people have said that Kamala has just been sidelined the past 4 years in the Biden administration, and that she didn't really get a chance to show the country what she's got. Would you agree with those statements, or do you think that that's just a talking point?
So if that's the narrative, who was in charge? Because it wasn't Biden.
Right.
So if I can ask you, I don't know if you know, but who was then in charge?
I don't have the slightest idea.
Exactly. So it was either her. It was definitely not Biden, that we know. He was sitting in Delaware on the beach. So it was either Kamala. If it wasn't Kamala, then it was the Obamas or whoever's running the
bureaucracy.
So
yeah,
I don't think she was sidelined at all. So
right,
that's my point. Yeah.
Yeah. And any other particular policies of Kamala's aside from the abortion topic there? Because I know we can get into the weeds there for a little while.
Lowering taxes on the middle class.
Lowering taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because if people who make less money should not have to pay higher taxes, I feel like that just makes sense,
I don't know. I feel like just compared to Trump, she's a pretty good person, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's also not a felon.
Yeah.
So
she's also not a felon.
Speaking of felons, what are your thoughts on Kamala Harris when she was Attorney General in California? She extended prisoners' time to use them for cheap labor for Cal Fire when the state was on fire. She was using them for 43 cents a day and extending their sentences to use them for labor. Do you have any comments on that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know enough about that, but I'll do some research and.
That sounds. Yeah, that definitely sounds bad.
Yeah, it sounds kind of bad.
You look at gas prices, bread prices. I can't believe it. I've been blessed that I can afford to buy things and not suffer, but I know a lot of people are suffering because of the inflation. The inflation is horrible. He's cut out fracking, he's cut businesses, he's made more regulations. So no, the economy is definitely not booming under Biden. It's much worse.
Yeah. Some people have also said that the tariffs Trump would impose would affect the middle class and lower class the most. Do you think that there's any validity to those statements?
No, the thing with the tariffs, sometimes you have to do that because they're using cheap labor, and third world countries are not being fair in what they ship over, so you have to control that with tariffs. If they put tariffs on, say, for example, an automobile that's being built by labor at $1.50 an hour, you're not helping other people to buy those cars without tariffs. You have to put tariffs and put restrictions on it so that you can help the American worker. The American worker is what's the most important. We want to bring businesses back to America, and he was in the process of doing that.
Right. Do you think that these tariffs would have that positive effect you're motioning towards, that it would bring jobs back to America and that it would also bring manufacturing back to America?
Yeah, I think it would. Now, tariffs initially will put a dampening effect, but then you take the tariffs off as the economies in other countries grow. Right. But it would bring jobs back to America.
Right. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your opinion so much.
You're welcome.
And thanks for stopping to talk to me.
Great.
Yeah, have a good night.